Welcome back to Inner Warmup, where your inner work begins. My name's Taylor Elise Morrison, founder of Inner Workout, and you, as always, are our expert guest. Thank you for being here. And I always like to get us started with something to bring us into the moment. And what I did before I started this session is take a deep inhale and stretch my arms up to the ceiling. Stretch your arms up to the ceiling. Find some length in your spine. You might be like me, where you've been seated all day and starting to slouch. And then when you're ready, let your arms fall back out to your side. But keep that length, that space that you just created. And let's start the show. We are officially halfway through the year. We've crossed the threshold. And I personally am kind of a sucker for a New Year's in July situation, or honestly, like a New Year's anytime situation. I love revisiting what I have envisioned for myself to see if it still aligns and how my circumstances have changed and what has changed in general in me and in my life. But I find it helpful to have conversations like this during the mid-year just because it makes sense logically, right? We're halfway through the year. Okay, let's go ahead and look at how we might approach the rest of the year. So the question that I want to talk about today is, where do you need a fresh start? That's what's on the table for the interview. And before we get into you having a chance to reflect and to share, I wanted to share something that I put in the Self-Care Sunday newsletter a few weeks ago. And if you're not subscribed to Self-Care Sundays, I'm a little biased, but I'd recommend it. It's a nice little check-in with yourself at the beginning of your week, or I know there are some people who wait to open it on Mondays and they use it to start off their week. So whatever works for you. But in that newsletter, I shared a really quick 3-step process that you can use, especially at this time of the year. 3 R's. First, revisit. So look back on what you dreamed this year would be for you. If you're a goals person, you're a word of the year person, you're an intention person, you set a mantra, whatever your tool set is for creating a vision for your life, look back at what you set out to create at the beginning of the year, read through all of it, and then you go into the second step, which is review. So you see, this is what I wanted this year to be characterized by. This is the word that I wanted to embody. This is the goal that I'm working towards. And then you actually review what happened. In practice, what did it look like? Maybe there were roadblocks that you couldn't have expected. Maybe some things accelerated and went at a pace that was far beyond what you could have imagined in a good way. And in many things, you hear me say this often, but this isn't about self-judgment. So if you fell short or you're not as far along as you thought you would have been when you wrote these things out in January, that's fine. We're not here to berate ourselves. This is about having a conversation and understanding, okay, this is where I am right now. And you can become aware of any of the emotions that do start to pop up for you as you do this process. Like, is there a lot of shame? Are you feeling guilt? Are you feeling elation? Are you feeling surprise? Those are opportunities for you to get into a deeper conversation with yourself. So we don't want judgment, but you do want to observe what is happening as you engage with reading and writing what actually happened for you this year. And then you get to reset. You can say, okay, my word of the year was hustle. And I'm not about that hustle mentality anymore. I want the next 6 months of 2021 to be about joy. There's no rule against you changing things mid-year. You can say, you know what? I thought I was going to complete this training program, and now I realize I would rather use my time outside of work to garden. So that's what I'm going to focus on. Choose how you're going to reset, which gets us back into that question. Where do you need a fresh start? So you've revisited, you've reviewed, and now you're deciding what you want to reset. You're looking at where you need a fresh start. And for me, I feel like I could use a fresh start around how I communicate. One of the identities that I wanted to embody this year was being a clear and direct communicator, which is difficult for me. And I've made a lot of progress. And there's also so much further that I want to go. So that's where I need a reset. I'm also recording this on a day where I am exhausted because my dog has been having trouble sleeping through the night, and it feels like I have a human child instead of a dog. And so I need to reset my sleep schedule. I normally don't have much of a problem when it comes to sleep hygiene, but it's been really tricky lately, and I feel it's starting to take a toll on the rest of my health. And then another place where I personally need a reset is with how I spend my time. As we are moving into a season where there are more opportunities to hang out with people in person, for me at least, I'll speak from my experience, I have more opportunities to hang out with people in person than I did at this time last year or even a few months ago. And it's easy for all of these obligations to start popping up in my calendar, to start filling up again. And I just need to be really mindful of what is energizing to me and what is draining for me. That also is the same on the work front. Like, where am I spending my time that I feel obligation to do that, but it's not actually giving me results? So those are some of the places that I need a fresh start. I could list a million more because I'm always starting over. I'm always beginning again. That's kind of the point of doing the inner work, is that there are infinite fresh starts. So now I'll pose the question to you. Where do you need a fresh start? Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate getting to have a chance for both of us to reflect. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your expertise, and would love to continue the conversation in Inner Workouts free community. Take care.